Hey everyone, welcome to a Tuesday edition of the Bulk Crew podcast. Dave Palais, Josh Palais, and Mario Heron talking football with you, especially Charger football, as we're always excited to do. Looking forward to your comments as well throughout the show. If you have a chance, please give us a like, subscribe to the show. That always helps. And we get off and going. So here's the deal. We know who the Super Bowl is going to be. Not a big surprise, except for me, because I'm the only one who didn't pick the favorites this weekend. As it worked out, that both Josh and Mario, they said, you know what, we're just going to go chalk. We're going to go Chiefs and Eagles because they aren't the gambling type. On the other hand, I picked the Buffalo Bills. I'm just saying, you guys went safe. Kind of disappointing in that because do you want to know the standings, by the way, on this punishment? Should I just tell you right now what it is?
Yeah.
All right, right now on this season, because we did this thing weighted in the postseason. Mario, you're 159 and 135. Okay, on the year. You're set. You're going to be okay. You're not going to be part of the punishment when this is all said and done. I am 148 and 146. Josh is 144 and 150. So if Josh and I pick different, that's the person that's going to basically pay the price for the Super Bowl. So when we go through this, go ahead. What are you confused about, Josh?
So if I was one game behind you and I got both games right, how am I further behind you now?
Yeah, how does
You're
that
closer
work?
to me. He's closer to me. What are you talking about?
I wasn't one game behind. Yeah,
was he one game behind? I got to go back and look at the last show.
You're in last place.
Doesn't matter either way.
You're
all right. I'll tell you right now. How much is the Super Bowl going to be worth? 10 points, we said? Either way, it has to be a difference of Josh and I switching spots to make it interesting.
That's fine.
One way or another. I'm going to tell you right now, I'm going to take the Eagles. You okay with the Chiefs?
I'll take the Chiefs. Yeah.
Okay, fine.
Fine.
There we go. Right, we're set then.
It's a good thing we don't have 3 shows until then.
No, I'm just saying right here. Since he's all upset, I'll tell you right now. I'm gonna take the Eagles. I don't care what the point spread is going to be.
Let me ask you a question because I know we're about to talk about it anyway. Everybody knows the Chiefs are probably going to win because they have the referees on their side. And anybody that wants to argue that, go argue with the wall because you're an idiot. Everybody sees it. Why would you take the Eagles when you know the Chiefs have the referees on their team?
Because I cannot watch the Super Bowl in any way having my head with the Chiefs. I just can't, man. I got to go with everything I have of hate towards the Chiefs every single week. That's where I'm at. There's no way I'm going to ruin the Super Bowl for myself of saying, there's a punishment here at the end. I don't care. I'll eat, 150 goddamn tacos if that's what it takes for the Chiefs to lose. I just can't see the Chiefs winning anymore. I've had it. So let's jump right into these games, okay? Let's go into how this thing worked out here. Chiefs win. Shocking that people are talking about a call that, maybe didn't happen. Not just one call. We're talking about a bunch of calls to everything that always benefits the Chiefs. Let me tell you something, America, wake up, okay? This is it. We have been talking about this as Charger fans for years. You guys are just getting into the action now. We have seen this for years. And so for you guys to sit there and go, oh, I can't believe the Texans got screwed. I can't believe the Bills got screwed. I can't believe it happens all the time. It is happening for years, over and over. And I hate when people say a sport is rigged. It is fixed for the goddamn Chiefs that everybody puts their head in the sand. All right. It is insane. We have seen this over and over again. I can point to 3 or 4 plays in that Chiefs-Bills game where if I'm a Bills fan, I haven't slept since Sunday. That's where I'd be right now. It would bother me the entire year. If I was Josh Allen, it would bother me the entire year. It is ridiculous. But guess what? We've been living your nightmare forever. We as Charger fans have been living this for a long time. It's absolutely insane. It's ridiculous. The NFL needs to step in. The fact that this game obviously is not going to be in Kansas City, it's going to be in New Orleans. The NFL has to hear it. I'm sorry, but by now you have to hear it because we all know there's a big fine and a big penalty when you say something negative about the referees. Guys don't care anymore. The Texans did not care. 4 main guys stepped up and said, this is BS. At the same time, if you watch, I'll just go to one play, okay? Because I know everybody has a lot to say. If you go to the first down that everyone wants to talk about, the Josh Allen play, look at the guy across the field that's standing on the Bills sideline, actually gets the call right. He runs right down the line from where the ball was, and look at where the guy on the Chiefs was. He runs right down an imaginary line that benefits the Chiefs. It's crazy. We've all seen so many replays on Twitter and all over the place that show you Josh Allen got the first down. But that's not even the only play. I'll let you guys talk about more, but it is ridiculous. My favorite, by the way, okay? Sorry, I had a million of them because Josh brought this up on the show months ago. If you pay attention to the right tackle on the Chiefs, he leaves early every single snap. Yet there was one play where he left so early, and then the guy on the Bills jumped, and they threw the penalty on the Bills. They threw the penalty literally on the Bills. And what are you guys looking at? So F all you guys that have let this go on for a long time. And you know why I'm most upset? I feel like I wasted my entire fall. I wasted my entire fall and my time, my love for this sport. If it wasn't for the people in the chat, the reason we show up to do the show every single week, dude, I'd be furious right now. I think would throw this sport away for a long time. If we weren't doing this show, I'm done. I can't pay attention to the NFL until Pat Mahomes is out of the league. It's ridiculous and embarrassing.
The Josh Allen play where he crosses the first down marker, but he doesn't get it, doesn't make any sense to me. Like you said, the referee is right there running down the line. He gets knocked off the line by a Chiefs player who bumps him, which last time I checked, you can't do that either. And then he marks the ball short. What's the point of even having a referee or replay assist, whatever you guys have on the field for the cameras and the different angles to not get the call right? And by the way, there was a first down the play before that, and they pushed it back to fourth down. That's obviously the big play we all talk about. How about the tie, right, where both guys caught the ball and then the ball hit the ground? We're not going to replay that. We're just
should have been an incomplete pass.
Should have been an incomplete pass, 100%. The guy that's not getting enough hate, and he's gotten a ton of hate, is Dalton Kincaid. Like, buddy, I understand it's 25 degrees outside and it's hard to catch and you're uncomfortable and all this. Dude, you catch the freaking ball. Like, the whole America is rooting for you to catch the ball. You got the red, white, and blue on. Just catch the ball. Like, God dang it, dude. Josh Allen, incredible play, right? Because they bring the corner on a blitz. Nobody saw that coming, which credit to the Chiefs for running like an exotic blitz at the end of the game. And he throws it up. Magically, Dalton Kincaid's wide open and drops it. I'm like, oh, my God. I'm
perfect
like, Dave.
Form, according to Quentin Johnson. Perfect form. Just going to catch it with my body.
Yeah, there you go. But, dude, it's just like, I feel the same way as you. Why do I waste my time watching these games when I know what the end result's going to be?
It was brutal. I still can't get over. I literally thought Kincaid got it. I still will die on that hill that he got the first down on that. And by the way, very quickly did they move on from that, which like kind of fascinated me. I'm like, well, they're really moving quickly, and we're just going to go ahead and assume that like it's, fourth and short. Like, all right, yeah, that's pretty fast. But
you mean, yeah. Okay, go ahead. I understand. So you're talking about
the third down play.
Yeah, I'm talking about the third down play. Yeah, before he dropped it. And did anyone else see, by the way, the Twitter war that happened with, I think is it Ben Slowick or Ben Solar or something like that, where he was like, he should have hit Shakir. Did you guys see that?
No,
he got. So it was one of those things where he's like an NFL writer for ESPN, I believe. I think he was before I was like PFF. But basically, he said that Josh Allen should have hit Shakir right away. And every quarterback came after him going, yeah, actually, when you have like a blitz coming like right at you, you kind of have to move. And like that guy's taken away right away. Like it was a football 101 thing that this guy completely missed. Anyways, funny Twitter war. Go down the rabbit hole and enjoy. I still think this comes down to a little bit, guys, like the Jordan rules, the Miami Heat, especially LeBron, where like every call went their way, and you're sitting there going, holy hell, can the refs just admit they bet on the Heat today? And then now we have the Mahomes and we have the Chiefs, where every time you play them, it's every call that's a 50-50 call is not going to go your way. And it's just because the other team is the best team in the league, and they've kind of earned that pedigree, I guess. It happens in every sport, though, right? Like the Boston Red Sox fan in baseball, we're complaining and for so long about Derek Jeter and how he like approaches the plate and how like what they say like squint down a little bit more for balls. Like this is something that I feel like happens across sports. No.
Okay, so here's the deal. There are 35 cameras at every NFL game right now. 35. I mean, you should never miss a call. Actually, the NFL set the trend on getting calls right on this. All right. So the NFL, obviously, come playoff time or come Chiefs time, they don't get the calls right. Major League Baseball, kind of interesting. They now put the box in the strike zone. You can tell if a ball is a strike or a ball, but it doesn't mean they're going to get it right because they refuse to take the jump and put an earpiece in the umpire's ear to tell them, hey, that's a strike or that's a ball. Like it makes zero sense that, to use the Eric Burns line, that you have Mario, who's in Washington, D.C., could be watching the Dodger Padre game and know if they got the call right or wrong, but the people at Dodger Stadium can't tell you if the call was right or wrong. It doesn't make any sense. It's easy to fix. but everybody has a problem with basically the technology. The NBA has to be the worst. So I'm not going to spend a lot of time on the NBA, but how many times do you go to the goddamn, table, and then we're all watching and go, well, that was easy. That was out on the Lakers. Bulls ball. And we're like, what? And it's the biggest waste of time. It's so hard to watch the NBA because of it. But in the NFL, when we all know that's the number one sport people gamble on, and the number one sport that's the most viewed, it is the biggest billion-dollar league out there. To mess this up over and over again, I'm sorry, Roger Goodell has to hear it. Everybody in the league has to hear it. Like, you got a major problem in the most popular sport in the United States, and it seems like over and over again it's excused. And guys, call me crazy as I just picked the Eagles to win the Super Bowl. I believe it stops. I might be a fool for saying that, but I believe it stops in Super Bowl 59 because everybody is paying attention to it. And when you're playing a game in Arrowhead, let's be honest, human reaction or natural human behavior is to want to be liked. It is hard to go against the home team when you have 75,000 people screaming at you at the top of their lungs. You want to be liked. Maybe they got the wrong guys, which, shocker, they do. When I see these old goats sit there running around the football field chasing, premier athletes, I'm like, you got the wrong guys. You should have guys that are fast enough to keep up with players and can follow the rules. But it's a mess. The NFL is a complete train wreck right now for this aspect that everyone outside of the Chiefs fans hates the Kansas City Chiefs and hates the way this league is being run. There are major problems right now.
So you don't think it's good that your dentist can referee an NFL game?
Yeah.
You don't think that makes sense?
Josh is not making a joke. Josh is not making a joke. These are not full-time referees for anyone who's not aware. Most of these guys are doctors, lawyers, dentists, Monday through Friday, and then they show up and they do the games. That is 100% true. There's no NFL referees union. It's not like Major League Baseball. It doesn't work that way. These are guys who have full-time jobs Monday through Friday. It's a freaking joke.
Insane.
It's embarrassing.
Crazy. So I don't think you're crazy for picking the Eagles. Like, I think this is a prime example, though, of maybe picking with your heart and not your head, because the Chiefs are going to get bailed out. Patrick Mahomes situation. This is Mario. Tell me if I'm crazy. Okay, this might be the only time in Patrick Mahomes' last 4 or 5 seasons where he might not be the best player on the field. And I'm not talking about Jalen Hurts. I'm talking about Saquon Barkley. This guy is unbelievable. Like, he can do whatever he wants, whenever he wants, in every game this season. Do you think that has a significant impact, that maybe the Eagles can control the clock with Jalen Hurts running, Saquon Barkley running, and do enough to kind of slow down Patrick Mahomes and win the Super Bowl? I know we're going to talk about this ad nauseum the next few weeks, but that's the interesting part to me, is I really think Patrick Mahomes might not be the most valuable player on the field.
I completely agree. If the MVP wasn't a quarterback award, it would be given to Saquon Barkley. He has carried this Eagles team to the Super Bowl. And you look back at this Commanders game, especially, he gets that football, and no one on God's green earth could tackle him on that play. And he goes and scores a touchdown. And right then, I was at literally a Commanders bar, literally looked around and go, congratulations, you guys just lost. Because if that guy's just going to do that to you over and over and over again. And look, Jalen Hurts, people can say, he's top 5 quarterback. He's not a top 5 quarterback. When you have the best player in the NFL currently next to you in the backfield, the pressure of you creating and making plays is very much lifted, right? He's almost playing with house money, going, I know that you're going to get 6 yards, 7 yards a pop. I just got to make sure I got to hit, one of the most athletic freaks of nature in the NFL and A.J. Brown to the outside, and then we'll be okay. He doesn't even have to play a perfect game. He just has to play a good game, and this Eagles team is going to fly over anyone. That's, if I'm the Chiefs, my biggest worry going to this game, Dave, is can we just slow down Saquon? Because I think if you slow down Saquon, you win this game. But if you don't, just ask everyone else that's just ask the Rams, just ask the Commanders, ask anyone. You will get beat if you just let him have a day.
Obviously there are a lot of weapons, man, on Philadelphia. I mean, it is a stacked roster, right? Philadelphia and Detroit, when healthy, have the 2 best rosters in the league. So here's the deal. That Hard Knocks that ran, the offseason Hard Knocks that ran last year, might be the greatest television of all time. Joe Shine, to see that he still has a job is it's insane. I mean, there's so many different things. If you know what we're talking about, and in case you missed it, the GM of the Giants is like, well, where the hell's he going to go? Talking about Barkley. Like, who's going to pay this guy $18 million a year? And then, I mean, his own kid is like questioning it. His assistants are questioning it. The owner of the team walks in and goes, I'm not going to sleep at night if he goes to a team and has a hell of a year. Well, dude, you aren't sleeping. You know, not only not sleeping, you just haven't fired this guy. It is the most embarrassing TV of all time. And if you thought that was bad, when you got the kid over there laying on the couch, completely not paying attention to anything going on in the office, playing with his phone, I'm just telling you, Dad, I think you need to trade up and get Jaden Daniels. Well, why would we do that? That kid is so half-assed in his comment, but he couldn't have been more right. Look what he did for two teams inside the division. He helped the Eagles out and he helped the Commanders out. Completely, that kid's like, what? All right, don't listen to me like you don't listen to me at home, Dad. That's fine, but great. You know, the Commanders now have a franchise quarterback, arguably Rookie of the Year and MVP in both seasons, and then you have Barkley, who arguably MVP. Holy cow, man. If you're a Giants fan right now, you're walking around Manhattan just kicking invisible cups all over the place. Can't believe it. It is the funniest, best TV of all time if you rewatch that right now.
I think it's just a good example of what can happen when you put a really good running back with a really good offensive line. Anything, Mario, anything can happen. Look at Jalen Hurts. If Jalen Hurts didn't do the tush push, which we can talk about if that's, people hate that play, but if Jalen Hurts didn't do the tush push, Saquon Barkley would be the MVP because he'd have 1 million touchdowns this season. But Jalen takes touchdowns away from him all the time. Jalen had 3 touchdowns in the game against the Commanders. Saquon had 3 himself. He could have easily had 5, right?
Yeah.
It's just unbelievable. The game plan is extremely easy and cut. You're going to run the ball with Saquon, right? You got to do it like 40 times just to get him moving down the line. The offensive line just mauls people. The Commanders had no chance. Deron Payne was out of that game. I think just that alone, the game was over. Like, if you don't have a guy in the middle of the defense kind of moving things around, Saquon's going to run all over you, and that's exactly what he did. I'm guessing people in Washington, D.C. thought Jaden Daniels could do it by himself, and he tried. Like, Jaden Daniels, I did not think was bad. His team around him just wasn't good enough. Like, Jaden Daniels is awesome. I think he's obviously going to be the Rookie of the Year.
I think the biggest thing in that game, too, was the Commanders just made mistakes, like 4 turnovers. And you look at the Eagles and the Chiefs, kind of the similar thing in both. If you turn over the ball against those teams, you're done, man. They're going to take advantage of it. They're too good. You know, they're going to take all those chances that you give them, and they're going to turn them into touchdowns. They're going to turn them into points, and they're going to capitalize on them. I think with the Commanders, they were not the more talented team. So when that, when you already put, back there, your room for error is very small. And then 2, I mean, Eckler, showed his true colors, baby. That's the guy we all know, baby. He fumbles it. They have a return that gets fumbled. Like, they just made mental mistakes that I think overall just hurt them. That's also because, look, that was a team playing with house money that shouldn't have been there in the first place. Or, they should have. They went the hard route. But, it was a surprise that they were there. They're on this magical run. So, I think just it all came home for them.
How about Carter punching the offensive lineman of the Redskins right in the head and no flag?
Okay, I kind of love it, though. I don't know.
Why do you love it? That's the same Chiefs thing. It's the same home field advantage thing right there.
I mean, yeah. Okay, it's
Carter killed a guy a couple years ago. Like, he's a bad dude. Like, I don't want to see good things happen to bad guys.
Well, okay.
Okay.
I don't,
okay.
Well, just that's okay. I'm not going to dive into that because I don't know.
You don't need to say a word. I said.
But also, though, I want to go back to the Chiefs-Bills game for 1 second. Biggest loser in that game, and that's kind of harsh to say, but Joe Brady did nothing to help that Bills team. Were you guys flabbergasted by his play calling that whole game? I thought he just pooped in his diaper that whole game.
The quick passes every time.
Or the running to the left.
Running to the left, the QB sneaks on 3rd, 4th is short. Like, dude, maybe try a different play because it's just not working.
Cook off the field the last drive.
Oh my God,
Cook was a beast. Feed him all day.
Yeah, unbelievable. What do you think, Dave? I mean, the way that things shook out this past weekend, is it what you expected?
It is what I expected. I picked a game with my heart. I mean, it is exactly what I expected. Is that I thought it would be the Chiefs and the Eagles. I know, but you know what? I told you I can't put the Chiefs in anything. Like, I can't stand the Chiefs. Like, the Chiefs ruined my life as a sports fan. That's where I'm at right now. I'll tell you right now, you're not going to like what I'm going to say. Here's my game plan for the Eagles. 2 things. They do these 2 things, which they won't do. in Super Bowl 59. You ready? Hey, somebody needs to take a 15-yard penalty, okay? And they got to take it early. And what I mean is they gotta smoke Patrick Mahomes. I don't care if he's 2 feet on the sideline. You got to hit him in the chest with his shoulder as hard as you can, and you got to jack that guy. Him and his flopping. And if you look at Mahomes, this is his move. He'll tiptoe down that sideline, and then right before you hit him, he does the right foot out. Because you saw a bunch of Bills guys do this, pull back with their hands up, and then he gets another 2 yards. But man, go ahead, take the 15-yard penalty. I know you can't sit there and do the move like the Saints, where you have basically your list of guys you're taking off that list. But I'm telling you, I'm a sports fan. Man, you sit there and say, hey, one of you guys got to sit there and drop that shoulder into that guy's sternum as hard as you can and blow him up. Just blow him up. And hopefully, man, it affects the team. The other thing, man, we're talking about the Super Bowl here. You don't get to the Super Bowl very often. You're the Eagles. You lost to the same team 2 years ago. You've been thinking about it nonstop. Eagle fans had a million excuses. Remember the Eagles had that defense where they're getting at every quarterback, but they didn't get one sack against the Chiefs because the turf was all crappy in Arizona. Remember everybody said they were the entire time? And they're going, we were slipping on the turf. What happened, And it wasn't turf. It's new grass that they put in. You aren't going to like what I'm going to say. Maybe you will. Mario might like this because he's a freak, okay? What do I say? You get into a big game in the NFL. You take out Harrison Buckner. You take the penalty. You blow him up. Man, it is so hard to win a football game without your place click kicker. I don't care if it's a field goal or it's an extra point. You try and snap that leg. And you know what? In history, no one's going to remember that the Chiefs lost their kicker. They're going to remember we won the Super Bowl. No one's going to remember. But it's your one opportunity to take them out because nobody has a backup kicker. This is one of those where the NFL should change the rule and go, look, every team has an extra kicker just in case that happens. But guess what? They don't. So, oh, man, the guy was trying to block the kick. No, he wasn't. He was trying to snap your knee. And that's exactly what you do there. You blow them up. You take up Mahomes. You take up Buckner. I'm taking the Eagles all the way, and I'm watching Josh eat 15 hot dogs.
Gladly. I hope the Eagles win. I actually know Jalen, right? I'm rooting for people I know. Dude, okay, let's get into this because Dave's 100% right. The Harrison Buckner thing's wild. Like, I'm not going to dive into that one, which is hilarious. It's a hilarious take that I love that he talks about that. But the Patrick Mahomes thing, why doesn't every team just do that once a game? Right? It's 25 degrees outside.
Dude, I want to do it.
I want to do it.
I'm on my couch. I want to do it. I want to hit Patrick Mahomes so hard, dude. I can't tell you. I'm not even a Bills fan. Me too. I just want to light him up.
Yeah, I think we all do. Everybody here wants to light up Patrick Mahomes. Dude, if Greg Rousseau on the Bills, that big dude, just lit him up, right, one time in 25-degree weather, he's going to think twice, right? That's all you want. You want the guy to think twice. This actually happened, by the way. I was there for this. The 2017 National Championship. The Clemson was Deshaun Watson. Reuben Foster, absolute beast, psychopath on Alabama's football team, was like, I'm going to take him out. And he tried, Mario. I don't know if you've ever seen the play. He helicoptered him in the air. Like, it was great. I'm just going to get him out of this game. I love that. It didn't work, but he tried. Same thing with Patrick Mahomes. Like, why not just take him out? Like, I'm not talking about an illegal hit, right, where you hit him like, make something illegal happen to his leg or something like that, but just hit him hard. Like, hard.
Hold on.
Do it one time.
All right, Mario, here we go. I know you're completely lost what we're saying, but this is point of reference. Clemson did the same. Clemson did the same thing. Clemson did the same thing back to Alabama in that game. Alabama was rolling until Clemson snapped Bo Scarborough's leg. Am I right? Completely changed the game. I'm sorry, man. It's a rough sport. It's part of it. But history will tell you that whoever's the champion, no one's going to remember. The T-shirt doesn't say, yeah, but guess what? We would have won the Super Bowl, but our kicker snapped his leg. No one's going to remember. Just going to be one of those things.
Hey.
Yeah. I mean,
a hockey thing. What would they do in hockey? Hey, what if this was hockey, Mario? What would happen? They'd take the guy out.
Fight him. Yeah, you gotta fight him.
Dude,
I think the Warriors
like
wouldn't
DeMar Hamlin guy to do it. Like DeMar Hamlin took out his own teammate.
Wouldn't they just do it to the other QB? Like if they did that to Mahomes, wouldn't they just do it to Hurts? Hurts runs it more. What do you mean?
Good luck. Good luck taking out Jalen.
Because there's only one. That feels
Hurts on one leg right now.
Dude, Jalen's a freak.
No, absolutely. But I'm just saying he's on one leg right now.
How many psychopaths do you think there are out there? There aren't a lot of them. I'm one of them. I'm telling you right now, there aren't a lot of psychopaths out there. You think both coaches are psychopaths?
I think there's a lot of them in the NFL. I think there's a ton in the NFL.
I think the difference, Mario, honest to God, is like people actually do try to take out Jalen because he runs the ball more than Mahomes does. With Mahomes, it's always like a think twice thing. Like Dave said, like, oh,
yeah,
can't hit him. Like with Jalen, I think people literally are trying to tee off on him all the time.
And like, maybe it's also like I mean, we've all seen too. Every time you hit the QB, who's coming running? It's big boys. You know what I mean? A lineman's coming in and they're gonna punch you or they're gonna shove you pretty quickly. So if you're a linebacker, you're a corner. You gotta get up and look head on a swivel. Either way, or I mean, this is just a very like I feel like I'm Buddy Ryan and I'm Josh is Richard Dent. I'm William Perry, and you're giving us the pregame speech of how we're gonna beat the Patriots in '85. If anyone got that reference that's listening, you get a Venmo from me.
Jalen Carter will do it.
Yeah, I mean, obviously.
But I don't want to lose Jalen. I don't want to lose Jalen Carter. But there are guys on the team you can afford to lose. You just go, dude. I hate to say it. You walk down like they're going to take one for the team. That's the way it's going to go.
All right, we got a lot of comments, so I want to transition to Pete Carroll.
Yeah,
or as somebody put Pete Carrillo in the comments, which made me laugh. Pete Carroll going over to the Raiders. Good move or bad move? Take your Chargers bias out of it, Mario. Good move or bad move?
I don't understand it move. Like that's kind of how I feel. Of all the head coaches that just got hired like this past cycle, I feel confident in saying that if you were like bet on the team that's going to be over 500, I actually do think the Raiders and Pats would be above 500 like pretty quickly because those are guys that and Vrabel and Pete Carroll that say what you want about them, but they can turn cultures around pretty quickly, and the players love playing for them, and they play hard for them, and it can establish a system that works, and it works right away. Thing I do not get where, maybe for 2 years, 3 years, you have teams that are just fun and they fight, right? And, you sit at 9-8 for the next 3 years. But let's say you get a young QB in this draft, you get Shedeur Sanders. I'm just throwing it out there. I have no idea if they're actually going to get him. Just saying. Dave, what doesn't make sense to me is that in 2 years, you need a coach. You need a coach again, right? Are you really just going to make sure that Pete Carroll has an OC in waiting that's going to take over for him when he steps down? That part doesn't make sense to me. The whole point of getting a young QB is to get a head coach that can be with him for years. You can get the Mahomes Reed. You can get the Brady Belichick. You can get the Peyton Breeze. That's what you want. And by hiring Carroll, it's like, you're going to get a young QB to pair with them for 2-3 years, and then, he's out the door, and you're going to count on some coordinator to step in and take over the role and make sure everything's still gravy after. That's the part that doesn't make sense to me at all for the Raiders. Does it make sense to you?
The Pete Carroll hirings, let's be honest, the Raiders ran out of guys, right? I mean, they're going down the list. They ran out of guys. They wanted Mike Vrabel. They didn't get him. Which, by the way, if you're Mike Vrabel and you're listening, you're realizing what's going on in New England, not to go off what your question, dude, they have more money to spend than anybody else. And now that you hear in the stories, they're the front runner to get TJ Watt in a trade. That was sudden. That's a different, dude, TJ Watt's getting moved this offseason. It's too hot. You're hearing that over and over again that TJ Watt's getting moved. So if TJ Watt ends up going to the Patriots, you're going, okay, I understand. You have a quarterback. They do. They have a quarterback. The Raiders don't have a quarterback. Next guy on the list, Ben Johnson. Ben Johnson 100% made the right move going to the Bears. You have a quarterback. You have weapons on offense. You have guys. The Raiders are a train wreck. The Raiders are the biggest mess going right now, and they've been a mess for a number of years. We've talked about it on the show. The more I think about it, the Pete Carroll move, I don't hate it as much as some other people, meaning the one thing that franchise has always been a disaster on is discipline. It's always guys playing for themselves, guys doing crazy things on the field, off the field. They always used to lead the league in penalties. Al Davis used to not care, but those days are gone, man. I mean, the teams that are disciplined are the teams that continue to win, as I just told to take a couple big penalties if you're the Eagles. But that's the Super Bowl only that I'll say do that. Pete Carroll brings discipline and a culture to a Raider franchise that's a complete mess. I mean, it's a mess. It's a frat party is what it is. It's a mess. So for him to come in at age 73, and let's be honest, at 73, we all hope we're looking as good and moving as well as Pete Carroll at age 73. I mean, good Lord. I don't know when Pete Carroll retires or how long he's there, but Pete Carroll's a defensive guy. The funny thing about Pete Carroll, to show how old he is, he was the coach of New England that got fired when they brought in Belichick. That's how long Pete Carroll's been in this league. And then he went to USC. Like, he's been around a long time. But look, they aren't going anywhere. And so why not just bring in a guy like that to hold the fort down for a few years. As you said, he'll probably be out of a job, and not because of performance, but probably more so just because of age. But they need to bring in an offensive guy, and they aren't going to get the quarterback they want. It sounds like this year. It sounds like the Raiders are going to either pick the best athlete available, or they're going to trade that pick to build up through the draft. And the Raiders aren't going to compete next year. I mean, there's a good chance you're going to end up with Kirk Cousins or Aaron Rodgers or what's his face from Minnesota. Just drew a blank right there. The quarterback. No, not JJ. The one from Sam Darnold. Okay, so yeah, I don't know. I don't hate the move. I just don't look at the Raiders as a threat anytime soon. They're just not a good roster, not a good atmosphere, and if Pete can turn that around. He did say something that I do like as a guy who is a coach. I mean, I'm not a football coach. I'm a baseball coach that always tries to kind of build a culture. He said to be a good team, you have to be a good teammate. And it kind of gets guys on the same page. Also, Pete Carroll, let's look at his last season with Seattle. He actually had a winning record inside that division. Pretty impressive. I mean, he got blown out, but he had a winning record in a division that had McVay and had Kyle Shanahan in it. You know, so it shows he knows what he's doing. And when he talks about culture, he turned USC's program around, and that was a complete mess when he came over there. So, yeah, I love the fact, by the way, that Jim Harbaugh and Pete Carroll are in the same division. They hated each other at Stanford and USC. You know, what's your deal? I love it. I can't wait to see those guys shake hands at the end of a game or whatever the hell goes on.
This is the, third time they've been in the same division. Third different time. Am I wrong about this? Right?
Yeah, conference. Conference division.
Right.
Yeah,
we had USC, Stanford. We had Seahawks, 49ers, Raiders, Chargers. That's insane that these guys are always against each other. Overall, I think it was a good move for the Raiders for what Dave said. I mean, there's nobody left at the party, right? Pete Carroll was the girl at 2 a.m. You'll just look at each other and go, you want to go home together?
Yeah.
That was Pete Carroll. He said, why is a 73-year-old man at the bar at 2 a.m, but I'll go home. Pete Carroll overall he would be there, right?
But he could pull.
Pete Carroll, good-looking guy, right? Let's be honest.
He could pull.
Probably back in his heyday, for sure. Now, not so much. But Pete Carroll, overall winner. I mean, everywhere he's been, he's pretty much won. One of the greatest college coaches of all time. Obviously, we know what he did with the Seahawks. Good move for the Raiders. I think overall, it is a good move. This is the most historic coaching or head coaches in one division I can ever remember in any sport. It's awesome. Like, I want a Hard Knocks, Mario, of just the 4 coaches in the AFC West. Huge personalities. Yeah. All of them have won. All of them have won championships. It's fun, man. It's really good for the sport, really good for the Chargers, because I think that's going to bring the most out of Jim Harbaugh. Not that there's something left in the tank for him to bring out, but I love the competitiveness between those two guys. I think it's just really good for football as a whole.
I think it really forces the Chargers also to be extra aggressive this offseason. Like every show we're talking about, should they get T. Higgins? Should they, make an aggressive trade for a wideout? Whatever you think of Pete Carroll, you know that a Pete Carroll team's going to be a competitive team, and they're going to be turned around pretty quick. You're not dealing with Antonio Pierce, who has no idea what's going on. He's going to go to the podium after the game and threaten to fire someone or say, the players all can't wear Raider stuff for the next week. And like, all right, awesome. Treat them like a high school team. That's smart. Yeah, you mentioned it. You have 3 guys that you're going to face 2 times a year that all have Super Bowl championships, right? And that really have losing seasons and that do not take any slack from anyone. So it's going to be an extra competitive division. I also want to take this moment to dump on the Raiders one last time for all the idiots out there, all those Raider fans that thought Ben Johnson really wanted to go to the Raiders and that was very serious. His agent literally came out and said that was a smokescreen and that there was zero interest at all. Absolutely zero. So not only was Pete Carroll the probably 3rd, 4th, 5th maybe option. The first option never even called you back. Never even cared for you. That's how bad of a job this Raiders job is. Pete Carroll took it because he's 73 years old, and let's be honest, someone else is going to offer Pete Carroll a job at this age. But 65-year-old Pete Carroll, Dave, does he take this job? I think no.
Yeah, probably not. Probably not. So obviously they're making a point in the comment here. In the comments, Jim Harbaugh is the only coach in the division not to win a Super Bowl. Kind of crazy. I mean, I'm with Josh. I would love to see a Hard Knocks just on the coaches. They've done the shows with the receivers and tight ends and all that stuff. I'd love to see one just on these coaches. Kind of crazy. You know, Andy Reid's amazing at what he does, by the way. I know I hate the Chiefs, but I don't hate Andy Reid at all. The fact that Andy Reid's facing the Eagles again in the Super Bowl and Andy Reid is still the all-time winningest coach in the Eagles history is insane. You know what I mean? I mean, he's arguably the greatest coach of all time. I mean, you look at the offensive coordinators that they'd end up leaving, and yet it's always been Andy Reid. I mean, Eric Bieniemy. Oh, man, when's Eric Bieniemy going to get a shot? Because he had the title of OC, goes to Washington, craps the bed, goes to UCLA, craps the bed. I mean, it's always been Andy Reid. You know, we all can't stand Sean Payton. This is dope. But overall, man, it is exciting to see the personalities in this division. This is a kind of like a can't stop watching division. I kind of love it.
If Andy Reid wins the Super Bowl, he's the greatest coach of all time, I think. It's a debate, but I really think he has an argument to be the greatest coach of all time.
He's certainly up there. Yeah.
Dude, he runs a play once a game where you go, that's an awesome play. Like the play that he got Samar JP run, who didn't play the whole game basically, to get that first down to clinch the game, to end the game, was awesome. I mean, he does plays all the time that you go, man, I never seen that, never thought of it. If I was a high school football coach, I literally would watch Andy Reid and just take plays out and go, this is going to work. If it works in the NFL, it's going to work big time for us. I'm super impressed by him, and he hasn't had an easy life either when you look at his kids, you know. But I don't dislike Andy Reid. I showed my buddies this today. I know you guys have seen it. I'm sure most people in the chat have seen it. But Andy Reid doing that punt, pass, and kick contest when he's a little kid at the Coliseum might be the greatest YouTube clip of all time. To see he's the same age as all those little punks behind him, and he looks like Chris Farley throwing a football against freaking fourth graders. It's insane. It's insane how big Andy Reid is.
Real quick too on Andy Reid and just the whole Chiefs. Spags also should deserve a lot of credit. Like Josh, you mentioned that blitz earlier that he did on that play. Talk about a gutsy call.
Blitz. I love the corner blitz.
Oh my God, dude! If I called that as a defensive coordinator, I would turn around from the field, take my headset off, and I'd be like, someone's got to tell me what happens. Because there's a little bit of Reid going, you sure?
Yeah,
like,
right?
You want to make that call? He's like, yeah, I think so.
I mean, the corner blitz is the most dangerous call for a DC. It is.
So dangerous.
I mean, you're going, oh man, this is everything. It is chips all in. Like, if it works, man, we are gonna party. If it doesn't work, we're gonna think about this all winter. Like, what the hell were you thinking running a corner blitz? Are you insane? It was awesome.
It was great. All right, real quick before we get to the comments, did you guys see Liam Cohen's press conference?
Oh my God, dude.
For the Jags.
Oh my
wow,
dude,
what is where's the betting line on the one and done for him? Holy hell!
Yeah, I think we said. Didn't we say the same thing about Dan Campbell though? Like, he was a little wacky.
We did.
He at least is cool. Like, at least Dan Campbell's like not weird. Like, that was weird. Like, I just shut my phone off when I saw that.
Yeah, like
I had to take a shower after I saw that.
Yeah,
like, oh God. Yeah. Also, real quick, do you see he didn't return anybody's calls in Tampa Bay?
No.
Did you see that part?
Yeah, that whole thing's weird.
So for anybody
odd.
Dominic, you got to look it up. You
got to look at it.
I'm not gonna say
it's cringy.
It's weird. It's very cringy.
He doesn't look like a head coach. Like, there's certain guys who aren't head coaches. There's certain guys who are just coordinators, right? We've seen it. Hell, the Chargers have had a few, but there's certain guys who just aren't head coaches. He does not seem like a head coach. He's a goofball.
He wouldn't be the manager at the hair salon, like let alone an NFL head coach, dude. But the thing about the Tampa Bay is, they're like, hey, they're trying to get a hold of him, right? They're like, hey, if you're going to go do an interview or whatever, just like let us know, right? He like doesn't even pick up their phone calls. Next thing they know, they turn on the TV and he's doing a press conference. They're like, you're going to tell us? Like, nothing, right? They're like very unprofessional. I think it's the weirdest hire. Jacksonville Jaguars need to make a case tomorrow as the worst ran organization in professional sports. It is bad. That's who I wanted the Raiders to hire.
Your owner looks like the Monopoly man and stuff. I mean, he looks bizarre.
Looks like
what the hell are we doing? Yeah. He's a little short Iron Sheik. Yeah.
Also, Liam Cohen did a great job this year, but maybe a year too early for him for coordinator. That's the thing that worries me about that hire. Like,
he doesn't even have the resume to be a coach.
He has a weird resume. Have you looked at his resume?
It's strange.
Yeah.
It's real estate agents like, what are you doing? Why do you keep moving from Los Angeles to Lexington to Kentucky and back? It is weird. He's such a weird resume.
Also, if Baker still is a killer this next year, can we give him some flowers? That guy's had 3 different voices in his ear, 4 different voices, I think now, the past 4 years. My God, I'd walk in the building and go, can I just get one guy to stay? I need one guy to be here again. Holy hell.
It's funny because everybody keeps thinking that these coaches are making Bakers. Maybe Baker Mayfield's just good.
Exactly.
God,
dude, look what he did
such
for
a good
Canales with the Panthers. I mean, dude, think about remember when Baker with his first team when he was with the Browns, and you're going, good God, if I see this guy in another progressive commercial with the keys to the stadium and make sure you lock up, enough, dude, you aren't winning games. Stop with all the commercials. And then when he was gone and he ends up going to Carolina, what a disaster. Him and Sam Darnold, right? A mess. Goes to the Rams, and all of a sudden it's a huge wake-up call. Wait a second, that was a hell of a game. Remember, he knocks off the Raiders on national TV, and he learned the playbook on the airplane. And you're going, wow, it was one game. And then he goes to Tampa, and he's had 2 really good years. All of a sudden, he looks like a legit quarterback, and he's a bargain. I think he's making $25 million a year, only $5 million more than Gardner Minshew made.
Crazy.
I don't know.
Crazy.
It is crazy.
Can I bring up something from last thing? I have one more thing on the Bills because I wrote this in my notes in all caps. I left that game too thinking that they are desperately in need of a receiver, especially when also Joe Brady, his stock for me just tanked after that game. The Keon Coleman versus McDuffie in the end zone. Good call, buddy. Really? The rookie versus one of the best corners in the league. Anyways, I was dumbfounded by that. Does that worry you guys at all for the Chargers' chances for a big name receiver? Because you know that after that game, the Bills have to go. That's a position that has to be filled to beat this Chiefs.
Well, Amari Cooper's a free agent too at the end of the season, right? So,
but will they resign
another
him?
receiver? I don't know.
Yeah.
He's their number 5.
I mean, look at if you look at the NFL teams right now, and the draft order's all been set except for number 31 and 32. If you look at teams' needs, almost every team has wide receiver down, right? I mean, it's kind of wild that it seems like it's the number 1 position for every team in the NFL is need for a wide receiver. I don't know, man. We talk about T. Higgins, and I think about all the other shows that are talking NFL that they're saying T. Higgins also. There aren't that many guys on that list. Josh might be right. To get the wide receiver you want, you might have to pull off that trade. It might be easier than saying you're going to, T. Higgins is only one team called. It's not going to be the case. There's a good chance that your best move is to be aggressive, to go after maybe a Garrett Wilson type.
Go get him. Why take the risk? Go get the guy that you want. Obviously,
by the way,
Wilson would be great. Yeah.
The more I look at it, I don't understand the Aaron Glenn signing. When we talk about different signings, I didn't understand that one. Why would you go defense when it's your offense that's a train wreck? When you're scoring 16 points a game or whatever the hell the Jets did all year long. Why wouldn't you go for an offensive guy?
I saw a report when he was doing the interview. They said the Jets are going to allow Aaron Glenn out of the building. I'm like, does he know that? Being a hostage?
Yeah. Kidding.
Yeah, it was weird. All right.
Can you help him out?
I just coaching staff's a disaster. People are ripping the hell out of his hires already.
Well, who did he hire?
It sounds like he's hiring just friends. Sounds like
Antoine Randall, right?
Yeah, he's not hiring guys that are solid NFL coaches. It sounds like he's hiring guys that are his buddies. It seems it's so Jets. Who gives a rat's ass? Woody Johnson in your pristine white hat, dummy. Stupid.
I mean, the Bears just hired a 28-year-old OC. So,
you know what though? I don't have an issue with all that. I'll be honest with you. Sometimes those young OCs are the ones that are the smartest guys going. They see things different. They aren't the guys that fall in line with their typical plays.
He's also not going to call the plays. It's going to be
true.
Yeah. But I'm like, you already had a defense that was running well. What I don't understand. Whatever.
My favorite is when a team hires a defensive guy or an offensive guy and then they don't do what they're hired to do. It always makes me laugh.
Oh,
remember Robert Saleh's Robert Saleh's I'm going to call the defense now. It's like, okay, that's what we brought you here for. What are you doing?
Yeah. Staley.
I was literally about to say that was my biggest gripe with Staley. It's like, you're a defensive guy. Why does our defense suck?
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Absolute joke, man. All right, here we go. AK $4.99. says Uncle Dave. My bad.
Sorry.
Here you go. Uncle Dave 499 says, Uncle Dave, I missed you last week, Josh. I said, Uncle Dave, I missed you last week, Josh. I love you, brother, but today I'm talking to my uncle. Let's go. All right. All AK questions are towards Dave today.
What am I,
Brian?
Hold on. What did you miss before? I was here. You know where I was at? Tuesday and Thursday, man. I'm here.
That's true. You were here. I don't know. Brian, $20 says, gut feeling on T. Do you think we make a run, or do you think they won't spend that much on a wide receiver? What do you think, Dave?
I think they make a run, man. I think T is going for the money, dude. I just think it's natural in the NFL, pro sports. He's going for that big payday. Whoever can pay him the most. The Chargers can pay him a lot. Guess what? The Patriots can too. And look, his old OC is now the head coach with the Tennessee Titans. Don't be surprised he ends up in Tennessee.
Yeah, for anybody, I know everybody probably knows this information, but the Chargers are 7th in terms of, 6th in terms of money they can spend, cap space, $54 million. The Patriots have more than double that amount at $112 million. So,
yeah, I think, Josh, actually the way it's supposed to set up, I believe the Patriots have closer to somewhere like 120 to 130 when it's all said and done. You know, when you get rid of guys, the way they're projecting, and I think the Chargers are up in the 90s.
Okay, well, if they want to go get him. I don't honestly, Mario, like my gut feeling is telling me they don't end up with T. Higgins. I just think another team just throws more money his direction, and the Chargers aren't going to go that high. My gut feeling is also telling me we end up with Chris Godwin. I don't know why. I think that's who he ends up with.
All I know is I think there's no chance in hell he's a Bengal next year.
No.
Yeah, I agree.
No chance. According to Spot Track, we have the 5th most cap space. So let's go.
Well, I got to look at my calculator again. I tried doing it earlier. All right. Next one is AK. So it's right towards Dave. It says, 1999. Appreciate that, AK. It says, Uncle Dave, I know you think I'm crazy. My Chargers brass will give my superstar quarterback the best team. He has no excuses. He has to win. He is getting the MVP this year. The Chargers are 2025 AFC juggernaut. I'm not afraid. Bolt up.
But I'm not going to disagree with anything. AK, I'm crazy like you. I just looked at the Chargers schedule for next year. I got 14-3 right now. What do you think of that? I'm as crazy as you are.
He's not going to win MVP. I mean, I just like Justin Herbert doesn't have the team around him yet. I mean, maybe I don't know what happens in the offseason, but right now there's no way in hell he's winning MVP unless he gets like 2 or 3 huge weapons.
You guys think MVP awards should be held for after the season?
Yes.
It should be just I agree. I mean, come on. Who are we kidding? Josh Allen wouldn't be in the mix. Lamar Jackson wouldn't be in the mix, right? It'd be come down to Barkley and Mahomes right now. I mean, Josh Allen's 0-4 against Mahomes in the biggest games, right? Lamar Jackson can't make it to a Super Bowl.
But MVP
I think it'd be between Allen and Barkley.
Season.
Yeah, I think it should be the whole season. I don't know.
But then you take out everyone that like. I don't know. I think it should only the cutoff should be end of regular season. I don't think it should because then you screw people over. It's too much of a team sport.
It's a quarterback sport. I mean, we wouldn't be voting for Herbert. That's for damn sure.
AK 999 right towards Dave. It says we will dominate the AFC. Bring all these bitches. I'm not scared. The Chargers will lift the Super Bowl trophy. I promise. February 2026. I'm not afraid. All I have to say is, Uncle Dave, I love you.
Thanks, AK. I appreciate it. You have to spend all that money to tell me you love me. I appreciate that. Love you too.
All right. Sefer Nozari, $10 says, can you please have a full show with Dave's rant on Chiefs and referees? Best football therapy for a Chargers fan.
I've said, you guys have heard me complain a million times. I don't even know what to say. I know I feel the way everyone else feels. Josh and Mario feel the same way I do. I just said it first.
Yeah, I mean, Dave takes blood pressure medicine for a reason. He's always angry.
I do.
He's going to end the show with the rant today. So stick around. We got something coming. All right, AK 499. He says, Josh, you are my brother. No hard feelings. I still love you. Eagles 31, Chiefs 27, Barkley MVP 127 rushing yards, 73 rushing yards. Let's go. I believe.
It's not a bad call. What do you think, Mario? It's not a bad call.
The receiving yards, I think, is a lot, but the rushing yards, I believe that's actually around his over/under for the game. Is 127. Let me double check.
I hope you're right. Yeah,
Dominic Rogers says, Mario's a cousin. We were trying to fit him in. You got to tell him cousin.
Why is this not showing me? I'm pretty sure yesterday. So like, AK, if you just bet that out and you didn't know, good for you. He is. Oh, it's 114.5. So it's gone down.
I'd probably. That's tough. Uncle Jam's Army 499 says, guys, seriously, when is the last bad call against the Chiefs that was game changing? I'll tell you right now, it's December 10th, 2023, when he had that weird exchange with Josh Allen, right? Instead of shaking hands and being a sportsman, he said, that was terrible. Or remember, he said that to Josh Allen. That's a disgrace. That's probably the last time that something bad happened to the Chiefs.
When Patrick Mahomes couldn't spike the football, flipped out of his hand. It was embarrassing.
He walks like he has a bad hip.
Yeah.
You notice that?
You got a zesty walk. Yeah.
Yeah.
Sphincter, $5 Canadian, says Patrick Mahomes is retroactively making me a fan of Tom Brady. At least when Brady got RTP, he earned that MFer. Pat is 10-ply. He's soft. Yeah. Patrick Mahomes, to me, man, he just wasn't this annoying, I guess. Or maybe he's just winning more and I find him more annoying, but he seems like he just bitches a lot.
I did a full circle on Brady. I don't know about you guys. I hated him.
I did too.
Okay.
Yeah.
I think. Oh yeah, it would be half circle.
That's true.
I bet I did it with Mahomes. Yeah, I did it with Kobe. I hated Kobe at first, and then I came around in the end.
I'm not gonna do it with Mahomes. He's in the division. It's already done.
Fair.
I hate you.
Do you think Dave you'll come around?
He won't.
No, I'm not. I'm never gonna come around on Mahomes. Brady. I did. Brady. I did. Like I tell you what I like about Brady is forget all the winning. Like I hate the Patriots, but the tuck rule thing was ridiculous. All that stuff where he didn't even know the rule, and all of a sudden there's a flag, and the Patriots start their dynasty. I think all that's ridiculous. I love when I heard Brady when he retired, and he's just dropping F-bombs on every interview. I'm like, this guy talks like me. And then once he started swearing and acting like the way the three of us act when we aren't, obviously have a microphone in front of our face. I was like, this guy's a real guy. I like Brady. I became a fan right then. Not only was he a good player, but he swears like crazy, and that's I swear all the time. Kind of dug it.
One thing I can't really stand about Tom Brady right now is he's a huge advocate of hitting the quarterback. I'm like, dude, where were you when you played? Like, you didn't talk about this as much when you played, but now that you're retired, you're like, we got to smoke the quarterback. This is flag football. Like, what? These were made because of you.
Dude, every time he got hit, he would like get up and he would just find the ref and start yelling at him.
Yeah, get all in his face.
Oh yeah.
All right, here you go. Mike G, $5 says, "Hey Dave, how do you feel about the Chiefs?" He says, "Hey Dave, how do you feel about the Chiefs? Us Padre fans feel this way about the Dodgers."
Dude, I don't know what to tell you, man. Your Padres are a train wreck right now. Like, I'm sorry, man. If you're a Padre fan, Josh is a Padre fan. You're a complete mess. Ownership is completely handcuffing you. That's the difference about the NFL. Is the NFL gives every team a chance to basically go at least 500 or better. And for the Padres, they wanted to play with the big boys, and now you guys can't play with the big boys. You guys are basically paralyzed for it looks like for about the next 10 years. Dodger fans went through it too with the McCourts. So it's not a fun place to be at all. If you're a baseball fan, it's not a fun place to be.
B. Hannon, $5 says, this is for Mario. You guys ever think about multi-streaming with Twitch, $7.99 a sub, and no ads for listeners?
Personally, I've never really thought to go to Twitch. I always like try YouTube. I think YouTube you kind of get more attention and more traction, but we can definitely start broadcast on Twitch too if people want it. I'm totally up for it.
All right. Next one is Jet Flores, $10. Just wanted to send us $10. Appreciate that.
Nice.
I'm going to throw something out too that we haven't discussed at all, but I'm just going to say it. I'm going to do some giveaways this offseason out of my own pocket just to bring some more attention towards the show. I'm going to be honest with you guys. I think we're better than how many subscribers we have. I think we deserve more, and I think this is going to be a good way to bring more people towards the Bolt Crew podcast. So if you guys are interested in some giveaways, I'm probably going to throw my money in that direction. So just want to give you guys a heads up.
Cool. Look at that.
Woo!
Nice.
There you go. All right. Dave Rant. Let's go.
Oh, we have.
I don't have.
Oh, we have one more. Sorry.
Yeah, we got later.
All right. My bad.
You're good.
Hold that thought, Dave. $5 Sefer Nozari said, do you think Harbaugh's absence from the NFL and his coaching staff, lack experience in the playoffs, affected us against the good teams and in the playoffs? That's a good question. What do you think, Dave?
You guys answer that one. What do you think?
I was disappointed by the way that Jim Harbaugh coached in the playoffs. Like, one theme you'll always see with the Chiefs and these really good teams is they're very, very aggressive in the playoffs. You cannot be timid and win in the playoffs. You have to make the calls, right? You have to go for it on fourth down. Like, every time you cross the 50, you can't take anything for granted in the playoffs. Jim Harbaugh, to me, kind of coached it soft. And I don't know if that's an absence of him being out of the league, because at Michigan, he was very aggressive. I don't know why he acted that way in the playoffs, Mario.
I mean, I talked about this a little bit last summer, but I think there was going to be always a little bit of a learning curve just back in the NFL, because the coaching's better, the competition's better, and especially in the playoffs when you have the cream of the crop, sometimes you're going to be a little behind the eight ball. I think that's what happened this year. And, also think back, like, it took Harbaugh kind of a minute at Michigan to get aggressive. Like, at first when he got there, he played everything kind of pretty conservatively. So I think we'll probably see that in year or two of him being more aggressive and, probably being a little bit more confident, I guess, for lack of a better term, going into these matchups.
It's interesting. One plus the Chargers did get already this offseason is that I know we were all kind of worried about it, and maybe it was the Texans game that saved us, but Jesse Minter wasn't hired with another team. It looks like the Saints are going to go with McCarthy, so it looks like they're safe there. But when I just ripped Aaron Glenn and the Jets, I mean, dude, let's be honest. The Jets would have been better off probably taking Jesse Minter than they would have been taking Aaron Glenn. Aaron Glenn is, of course, a former Jet. I don't know why you got to hold on to that legacy of doing nothing. But otherwise, the Chargers kind of won right there, that we were able to keep our coordinator. No one came after our OC, shocker. But as far as keeping our DC, it was a good move. It was a good move.
All right, AK 99 cents, and then Uncle AK says, I want to visit Uncle Dave as my giveaway. Sorry, I clicked the wrong one. Yep, there we go.
All right. Well, meet me at a Charger game. I keep saying we're going to hit one of these Charger games one day. We're just trying to time out Mario's schedule. Maybe we can go see Mario. Next time next time there's an NFL game that's near where Mario can get to, we just all make it at one of those trips where we travel.
Us three in a 300 square foot apartment, baby.
I didn't say at your house. I'm saying we meet at the stadium.
Oh.
Somebody did say that. Somebody said they want us to do a podcast all together. It might be a mess. I don't know. We could do it though.
It'd be fun.
Yeah, I mean, one of these we should maybe pick an NFL stadium and say, you know what, we're going to that one. Let me hold on real quick. I'm gonna look at this thing real quick, and then I know we want to wrap the show up. All right, Chargers schedule on the road: Broncos, Chiefs, Raiders, Titans. Josh is close by. Jags, Dolphins, Cowboys, Giants.
Titans might be very doable. What date's the Titans game?
There are no dates released,
right?
Oh, they don't have dates. Yeah, I'm stupid.
October,
I know.
October. Dave's coming October to Tennessee. Maybe it could work out, Mario.
Okay. Has to be on the weekend, because I'm pretty sure I have a wedding in October for shout out Graham.
Here's the deal. For anyone who's like, I'm not going on the road with the Chargers. Let me tell you, Nashville's a great place. It's a great place to have a good time. Not only we do the Titan game, but there are a ton of bars on Broadway. It's a good time. That'd be a good listener trip.
Yeah, come ball crawl with us.
Dude, let's do that. I don't have to go anywhere. It'd be great.
That'd be a good move.
All right. Before Dave's rant, we got Uncle Jam's Army 999 says that 2023 call was the lateral pass to Tony that upon review was correctly called, but Mahomes acted like a little bitch. I'm asking about a bad call that went against the Chiefs because I can't recall.
Yeah.
Dude, I can't recall either. I don't know, man.
I can't either. It never happened.
Doesn't happen. I don't know.
No idea. Maybe back when Christian Okoye was the running back. I have no idea. Can't remember one. It's unbelievable.
All right. Okay. Dave rant.
All right. My rant's not going to be an angry rant this time. All right. I'm going to tell you what happened to me since we did our last show on Thursday. My house almost burnt down. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So we had major fires in Southern California, and we had a major fire right outside my window. And I'm like, all right, how bad is this fire going to be? Because we've been evacuated a few times since living in the area I'm in. And I remember I come home after baseball practice, and one of my coaches is a fireman, and I'm like, "Hey, what do you think?" You're fine. Well, I can see from the field that there's a big fire right on this mountain that's behind my house. Dude, you are fine. Don't even worry about it. And I was like, well, what are you doing here? Why aren't you over there fighting that fire and trying to put that out? He's like, dude, not even concerned. And then I get home, man, and it looks like that fire is Mario 100 yards away, and it's a big wall of fire. And I'm looking right through my neighbor's house across the street. It looks like it's coming right at him. And my coach's name is Mark, and I'm cussing about Mark. I'm like, God dang, why would I listen to Mark? Like, Mark couldn't put out a birthday cake, let alone a fire. Like, what the hell am I worried about this guy? Why would I take advice? So my neighbor who lives across the street to the side, everyone's packing up their cars and like, we got to get the hell out of here. She's walking around like nothing's going on, like she's walking in the mall. I go, what do you think? I was here in 2007. We're going to be fine. There's a lake there. It's going to stop it. Everyone's freaking out for nothing. I'm like, okay. Well, at night, I'm like, time to go to sleep. I'm gonna look out the window, and it looks like the fire's going down. Like they've been trying to put the fire out. And I'm like, she's not worried. That fire looks like it's better shape than it was when I got home. And all of a sudden, we get that alert on our phone, like that Amber Alert siren. Everyone's phone goes off of get the hell out. Okay. So I'm like, oh man, what happened? So I open it up, the shades. I look out the window, and man, that fire is bigger than I've ever seen it. It is crazy. The whole hillside's on fire, and it looks like it's out of control. So I look out the window, and I look at my neighbor who told me don't worry about it. Dude, she has her garage door open. Her and her husband are just throwing stuff overhand into the truck. And I'm like, they're getting the hell out of here. So I'm like, this isn't good. She's the one who was my safety blanket of said, don't worry about it. Yet she's peeling out. Neighbor across the street, he's running out with his, everything. This is the last time they're ever coming home. And I teased him when he came back. I was like, dude, you ran out of there like Padre fans at Dodger Stadium afraid to get beat up. I've never seen anybody leave a neighborhood so fast. It was insane. But I stayed. Okay. Call me crazy, but I stayed. I packed up the car, but I stayed. I called Josh, said, hey, what do you want me to take out of the house? Josh fires back. After he didn't answer the phone, 5 hours later, I don't want anything in that house. I go, well, I packed your 2 Alabama game jerseys. So he goes, yeah, I want those. I want those jerseys. Well, I packed those, but we packed up 2 cars, and we're waiting to the last minute. And it was crazy for a long time. Like right now, even now, the fires aren't completely out. But finally, we got lifted off our phones of saying you aren't the number one people to be evacuated, which is great because the whole time it's telling us, be ready to go, be ready to go. Firemen did a great job. All right. So if you know me, I rip firemen all the time. Everybody loves the firemen. I rip the firemen all the time. Okay. You go, who the hell rips firemen? I don't know about you in your neighborhood, but in my neighborhood, man, it's always weird how the moms drop their kids off at school and then they go grocery shopping, and parked right in front of the grocery store is a goddamn fire truck where you walk inside and everybody's wearing t-shirts that are about 3 sizes too small. And like, you guys just here to pick up the hot moms? Because what the hell's going on? And it always frustrates me. I'm like, you guys on your 10 hours a month that you work, all you guys are doing is making chili and putting Armor All on the tires. What the hell do you guys do? Except every 12 years in a situation like this. I will tip my hat to the firemen. And of my buddies of mine who are firemen, they go, okay, you going to say something nice? And I said, I will say something nice about the firemen and putting my house out. At the same time, they fire back with, hey, you going to fill the boot? I don't know, Mari, in your area, I can tell you don't know what I'm talking about. Yeah. They have firemen who stand here at intersections with a fireman's boot, and they want you at the red light to put cash in the boot. And I said, I'm not going to fill the boot. I'm not putting money in that damn fireman's boot. They go, why not? I go, I've already done it. It's called paying my taxes. So I'm sorry. A lot of people do things that are called a job, and then we've already done it. So I appreciate everything you guys did. You guys are really good at your job, but I'm not throwing you extra cash. I already did it. It's my taxes that I pay every single year. You guys did a fantastic job, and I think my house is still standing and the neighborhood's still here. You guys were great. That lake helped out too. But at the same time, tip my hat. Wasn't too easy. And I'm not donating food. I'm sorry if I'm a bad guy for not doing that. Everyone's telling me you should go to the hotel to stand out and donate food. I'm not doing that either. My taxes paid for that too. But you guys did a great job, and I won't rip you. I promise you. But I'm just saying, don't be afraid to get a t-shirt that fits. Good God. And that single mustache is ridiculous, by the way. I don't know what the hell. These firemen that have that one dumb mustache, I don't understand. What are we doing here? Come on. That's not what we want to do. Come on. There's a better look. What we now pronounce you Chuck and Larry with that stupid one mustache move? Grow a beard, grow something on the chin. You guys look like idiots. Otherwise, great job. Appreciate it. My house is still standing, but it's been an eventful week for sure.
That took so many turns.
It did. It took a lot of emotion.
I mean,
a lot of emotion.
Zigging and we were zagging.
That was it. Because I'm a psycho. I told you at the beginning of the show. There you go.
Wow.
All right. There you go. So we'll get out of here. We'll end on that. I got not a lot to say on that one. But here's the deal. If you like the show, as Josh says, we're going to start throwing in. Josh, I'll throw in with you, and we'll create some prizes and some giveaways, and hopefully you guys will enjoy that and helps out. Again, appreciate the people that have been with us for a long time. If you like the show, please give a thumbs up. Subscribe to the show. Tell friends about the show. Please share. Say, hey, this is the show I'm listening to. It's all over the place, but I think at the same time, I think it's what makes it good. That's why we like doing it. So we're there as well. Again, do us a favor. Turn the show on YouTube. If you weren't live with us, even if you were, let it play all the way through. There's something in that rhythm that says, hey, if you listen to the show all the way through and let those commercials play that we have no control over and don't get paid for, let those play as well. You know, our goal in life is to get Josh a gold YouTube button on that goddamn wall.
Yes.
That's
all I want.
So that's all he wants. It's it. It's not asking a lot. Let's get Mario 1 too.
Yes.
All right.
If this was the only job I had, that would be killer.
Yeah.
Hey, you think it'd work in the bar, Mario? Telling girls you got a gold YouTube button on the wall at home?
I'd wear it.
You and Pete Carroll saying, dude, let's go back to Mario's and look at that gold YouTube button.
Look at this gold YouTube thing that you don't have that I do.
All right. So for Mario Heron, Josh Palais, I'm Dave Palais. We'll see you on Thursday at 1 o'clock Pacific time. Have a good week, everybody.